Welcome to Hunter Beyond Time and Space Chapter 70. The sound from upstairs. Li Tongyun was currently with Jiang Shui. Since Kunlun had sent a message to notify all registered time travelers, Jiang Shui had gone to the school to pick up Li Tongyun and stayed in the mall. They were thinking of countermeasures. In addition, Jiang Shui specifically bought a mobile phone for Li Tongyun for daily communication. Nowadays, the world had become more dangerous, and having a mobile phone would be handy. Li Tongyun copied the message Kunlun sent to Jiang Shui and sent it to Qingchen verbatim. Qingchen analyzed the text word by word, trying to understand what had happened. In the message, Kunlun specifically reminded that the 3 missing time travelers in Luo City had unintentionally exposed their information on the internet, which could lead to the leakage of their home addresses. More than 1/5 of the over 200 time travelers in Luo City were in danger. Kunlun hoped that everyone would not easily expose their information and pay attention to safety. Kunlun did not say that they would provide protection, it seemed that they were short-handed as well. Qingchen pondered, he did not expect that there were already so many registered time travelers, and there must be even more hidden in secret. Those people came to Luo City in a hurry and did not have time to investigate more detailed information. As long as they were not at home, the other party would not be able to find a target to attack. For example, they knew Jiang Shui's home address, so they came to kidnap her. But if Jiang Shui was not at home, they could only kidnap someone who was lonely. Li Tongyun's plan was completely correct, and Qingchen wanted to praise her. But, was it appropriate for the other party to come to his home? Now was not the time to think about these things. Li Tongyun had already made a request, and they had a hidden cooperative relationship. They would have many intersections in the future in the other world, and he had to help out. Okay, Qingchen admitted that even if they would not cooperate in the future, he had to help with this favor. Today is Friday. I'll go back early. Let's meet at the entrance of the community at 5:40. I'll go back first to make sure there are no suspicious people. When it was almost time for school to end in the afternoon, Lu Dezhu suddenly found an opportunity to send a message to Qingchen, "Big brother, I've made a breakthrough with the transfer student. We haven't talked about what to trade yet, but they are willing to pay a gold bar in advance as a gesture of good faith." Big brother, I don't want to split the gold bar. Can you help me improve my life in the detention room? I will really go crazy staring at the wall in there. Qingchen looked around and replied with just a, "It depends on your performance," before pocketing the communication equipment and skipping class. There were not many pedestrians in the number 4 courtyard on Xingshu Road. Qingchen walked slowly on the tree-lined path, holding the vegetables in his hand. Autumn had passed, and the leaves of the plane trees on both sides of the road began to fall. Perhaps today's number 4 courtyard was the most beautiful. These 9 suspects seemed different from the 2 stragglers from before. The other party was planned and organized, and time had passed, but they had not been caught yet. This kind of criminal organization was the most dangerous. Qingchen did not look sideways, but he was silently counting all the people he met. Each one of them was a neighbor he had seen in the community before. No strangers. He glanced at Jiang Shui's balcony again, and all the furnishings were still in the same position. Even the creases of the curtains had not changed from this morning. There was no ambush in the house. Qingchen sent a message to Li Tongyun in the corridor, "Come in. Our door is ajar, you can come in directly." After a while, Jiang Shui and Li Tongyun, a small figure, quietly opened the door a bit and slipped into the room. Only at this moment did Li Tongyun, who was so young, finally breathe a sigh of relief, looking very cute. Qingchen smiled, "I am not a time traveler. Even if the other party wants to kidnap a time traveler, they will not come to me. They are fugitives and certainly do not want to make things big." Li Tongyun looked at him secretly and thought that this Qin Chen was lying without blushing or skipping a heartbeat. He said it too naturally. Jiang Shui smiled, thanks to you this time. Although I know I can also hide outside, I always feel uneasy when I'm away from home. You and Xiaoyun can watch TV for a while. I'll go cook for you. Saying that, the woman rolled up her sleeves and went into the kitchen. Qin Chen felt a little emotional. Jiang Shui would always be gentle and kind. Li Tongyun suddenly said, my mother is very virtuous, right? Qin Chen rubbed her head and whispered, have you heard about Li Shudong's situation in the other world? How does the conglomerate view this matter? There is nothing much to say. Li Tongyun sat on the sofa, dangling her legs outside. I heard from the sister in the other world that Li Shudong has been silent for many years. His sudden appearance this time will definitely cause surprise. Qin Chen took out a bedspread from the cabinet. Although this house was a two-bedroom, there was no bed in the other room. It was filled with the miscellaneous items he had purchased before. He said to Li Tongyun, you and your mother can sleep in my room tonight and squeeze onto my small bed. I'll sleep in the living room. But that's too impolite. Li Tongyun was polite, but did not refuse. Her eyes curved into a small crescent moon and she said, by the way, Qin Chen brother, when Li Shudong was having dinner at the Sun Pavilion, where were you? Qin Chen looked at her, I was on the light rail train and only saw the airship flying towards the Eternal Building. Oh, Li Tongyun did not ask any more. The conglomerate's view on this matter is ambiguous. It seems that they are all waiting to see the reactions of the other several families and nobody wants to take the lead. Qin Chen asked, by the way, why was Li Shudong imprisoned? Li Tongyun glanced at him and said, I don't know either. It's not appropriate for me, such a young age, to get his file. Okay, I've said a lot. Exchange your information with me, Qin Chen brother. Qin Chen pondered for a moment and said, I can share extratemporal information. I think it's necessary to join the group chat that he Xiao mentioned. But before joining, you must get the Data Fortress program from the other world to avoid being found by him. Now I suspect that he Xiao is not an individual, but an organization. They are systematically gathering all time travelers. Of course, it's just a guess. Li Tongyun tilted her head and said, Qin Chen brother, you only share extratemporal information because sharing information from the other world would be too recognizable and expose yourself, right? Qin Chen smiled, what do you think? However, at this moment, they both heard a sound. A chair fell to the floor above their heads. This house was too old, and the sound insulation between neighbors was poor, let alone something falling on the floor. But the problem was that Qin Chen and Li Tongyun both knew that there should not be anyone in the room upstairs now. Thank you for listening to this episode of the audio novel, The Timeless Hunter. If you enjoy this channel, click subscribe for more fascinating English audio novels. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, turn on notifications, or share on social media below so you can find this channel again. Let us know your thoughts. See you next time.